Good afternoon, this is Keith All and welcome back. Today's tutorial is how we could use custom formatting in our Excel spreadsheets to display our data in a format that we choose. So in other words, as you can see with the spreadsheet, I'm displaying this column of data, which are just numbers, and I'm displaying them a little bit differently through custom formatting. So this file will be included in the description below, which also includes the website that I'll be talking about. So anyways, let's understand what custom formatting is. So if you select a cell or a range of cells and right click on it, you'll see this menu item over here, Format Cells. You could also use the shortcut key the same way. Select a single cell or a range of cells and press Control 1 and go to the number tab up here on the left. Scroll down to where it says Custom, select that, and this is where you put in your custom formatting. So that's how you do that. And then I'll explain which ones that we will be using. So in other words, these numbers here will refer to count. This is column 1, which is column E, and then over to the right to column J, which is the 6th column. 7 and 8 are going to be referred to for this column here, and you'll see why in a second, because we want to display these symbols in a different way. So in other words, for example, this particular column, I've already formatted it using this format over here referring to number 1 here. And what this format is doing is all the way up to the semicolon, everything left to the first semicolon means that how do you want positive numbers to be formatted? Okay. To the right of the first semicolon is how you want the negative numbers to be formatted. Now, after negative numbers, you could also format how zeros you want to be formatted. And then the next one after zeros is how you want to format text. Okay, we won't be talking about that. So we're only going to be talking about our positive and negative numbers in this particular example here. So what this means is the pound sign, comma, pound, pound, 0 means that the pounds refer to as a placeholder. So in other words, let's look at this. Let's type in 0. So in other words, if your number is only a 0, it'll display at least that 0, meaning a 1-digit number. It's going to display at least that, and that's what the 0 refers to. Everything before that, which is the pound sign, is if it's your number is 2 digits, it's going to display the 2 digits, no matter what it is, okay? And it keeps on filling in a pound or using a pound sign for is how many digits that you want displayed. So if your number is 250,000, it's gonna display that 250,000 with 1,000 separator with 0 decimal points. Okay, so that's how this is working here. If your number is negative, this is where the second part of this formatting code comes into play, which is after the first semicolon. It says format this number in red. So we're using a default color code for in Microsoft that is red, R-E-D, and you put that in square brackets. And then after that, the negative number will also have a minus sign. So that's how this format works. Now let's go over to the next format over here. And it means that for any positive number, we want to add in a plus sign. Plus, we want to assign a custom color for that positive number, which is green. our negative number is going to be displayed in red with a minus sign. So that's how this one is working. So we're using a custom color code, which is green. As you can see here, it's like a light green. And I'll show you how you could change the colors in a second. And then you could see the red over here for the minus sign. So if this color, which is like a lime green color, is not the color green that you want, you could always change that. And how you could do that is by you navigate to this website here. Again, this file will be included in the description, so you could easily copy this uh, website. So if we go over to our website, this is the website that it brings up. So if I scroll to the top, that's how it looks. And if you scroll down, these are the color index properties that you could also use in your custom formatting. So let's say we want to change that green color to this color right here, which is color code index number 10. So if we go back to our spreadsheet, let's control shift down arrow. So we format the entire range, control 1. And instead of this green in square brackets, we want to type in the word color and then the number 10 after it. And then pressing OK, you could see the color of the green change to whatever that code is. So that's how you can change your colors. Okay, now let's go over to our next column. What we want to do here is for a positive number, we want to display an up arrow. For a negative number, we want it to display a down arrow. So if you go over here to the right, this is our custom format. So basically, we have a symbol in front of our number formatting. And again, for a negative number, we have a down arrow. Now, as you can see, the symbols are not lined up perfectly, and that's because we have different amount of digits for each number that we have here. So if we want to align these symbols perfectly, we could do it by using this format over here to the right. And so let's go over here. Let's copy this, Control C, and then I'm going to explain to you how that is working. Let's highlight the range, press Control 1, and then I'm going to copy that over, Control V, and then press OK. As you can see, it left justified these symbols, so now they're all aligned with one another. So let's see how this is working. So if we look at this custom format to the right that I highlighted, it says first display the up arrow for positive number, okay, because it's to the left of the first semicolon. After that, I put a space, and then I put this asterisk, and what that means, any character right after the asterisk will be repeated until a number, an actual number, can be displayed. So in other words, it's repeating a space after this symbol up until the point it reaches a digit, okay, to be displayed. And it's doing the same thing for a negative. So in other words, let's type in a larger number, and you could see 256, 123. You could see what it does. It continues to add spaces up until it displays a digit. So that's how that works. Now, let's say all of a sudden you don't want the symbols on the left side, but you want them on the right side. Well, this is where this custom format comes into play, as you can see to the right. So let's go ahead and copy that, and let's see how that works. Control C. Let's highlight our range, Control Shift down arrow, Control 1, Control V, and then let's get rid of this one here and press OK. Now I'll put the symbols to the right of your numbers. So let's look at this. So what it's doing, it's with this hash sign and 0, it's going to format your numbers first. After that, it's going to have a space. And then after that, it's going to put an up arrow because it's a positive number. It's if a negative number, does the same thing, but instead of an up arrow, puts a down arrow, as you can see here. So now let's use colored arrows for positive and negative numbers. So this is this one right here. So this is the color format that I'm using. So in other words, I'm formatting everything to the right of this color code to be in a green color, and I'll show you that. And then after the semicolon is how it's going to format negative numbers. So everything to the right of this color 3 in square brackets is going to be formatted in red, which is color 3. So that's why you have the arrows now a different color along with the numbers. So let's go to the website and let's look for color 10 and color 3. So here's color 3, here's the red, color 10 is the green color. So that's why you see that there. Let's go back to our spreadsheet. Let's go over to the next column here. Now let's say we want to append certain text after the numbers, as you can see here. So we want to display the number, and then it's referring to, this number is actually not dollars, it's units. So this is where this is coming into play here. So let's look at this. Again, formatting of the numbers. And then after that, we have a quotes, in quotes, we have a space and then the letters that we want this to be displayed. So that's how that is working there. Now let's, again, we're using a different color scheme for the positive numbers here. And we're also displaying it with a currency sign. So that's how this is working. So we're going to be formatting positive numbers in blue. After that, we're going to format the numbers as with 1,000 separator, but with our currency symbol. I'm in the US, so I'm using this dollar sign. So that's how this is working here. So if I press in 240, just a random number, press enter, you could see it formats it with currency symbol, 1,000 separator with 0 decimal places. Okay, so that's how that works. And we talked about 7 and 8 over here. So hopefully this gave you an example of how you could format your spreadsheets with numbers in this particular case, in different colors with different symbols to indicate up and down or minus, negative. And it gave you an idea how custom formatting works. Again, I want to thank you for stopping by today. You have a great day, and I'll catch you on the next video. Remember, this file is included in the description below for you to download and practice with. And remember to subscribe to my channel, and also please like and share this video because this helps this video to get out to more people. Thanks again. Have a great day.